Listen, let me get to this next topic. It says, how do you think childhood attachment styles influences the way we form relationships as an adult? Can you break this down for us? Because I had to Google attachment styles. I didn't even know there was all these different attachments. Yeah.
I mean, at least from my perspective, because I don't have no professional. Listen, y'all can't look me up nowhere under psychology. Okay, I'm a disclaimer because I know how y'all be. But from my own personal experience, I feel like what happens, and not exactly what happens, but your childhood is so essential and important to the person that you become. That is the foundation. Where do you come from other than child, you know? Or your memories, your morals, your standards, your boundaries, those things are instilled in you from a child. And so when people, you know, they may grow up, they may not be taught, you know, the best. They may not have that access, you know, certain things do happen. I just feel like sometimes when you get a little older, it could be the lack of knowledge. You didn't have the knowledge growing up, and so you're missing something. And now you're going into experiences, you're going to encounters, blind-eyed, kind of, you know, because as a childhood, maybe you didn't have that guidance or an experience to say, hey, I learned. And so I don't know, but I have a son. He's 3, and I'm watching him grow. And for me, it's live in action. So I'm seeing how important every little thing that he's taught, every little thing that he witnesses around him in his environment, how it's like molding him, you know, into the person that he's going to be. And so I see it, and I'm just like, okay, now I have to have an open eye and be very careful, because this is the next adult that I'm raising. You know, this is the next person that's going to step out into society and have to, you know, just experience life. And I want him to have the best guidance in that. And so do your very best, you know, as parents, and everybody don't have that, but the child is very important, y'all. You gotta do that.
For sure. I do want to, because like I said, I had to do my Googles real quick, because I'm like attachment style. So I do have 4.
The developmental stages.
I have 4 attachment styles that kids develop that carry over into adulthood. So the first one says secure attachment. It says children feel safe and supported by their caregivers. They are able to give space to explore their environment, knowing that they can return to a safe and comfort environment. The second one is avoidant attachment. Children may become emotionally distant from their caregivers due to their caregivers not being emotionally available for them. The third one is anxious attachment or ambivalent attachment. Children with ambivalent attachment experience inconsistent responses from their caregiver. They become clingy or overly dependent, or they fear abandonment. And the last one is disorganized attachment. This style develops when caregivers are a source of fear and instability, often resulting from abuse or neglect. The children feels confused about how to relate to their caregiver. And I think when reading this, what stood out to me, the one that stood out to me the most, is the anxious attachment, because it shows, you know, when your parents are inconsistent or they don't have that same level of emotional like response to them, then they develop this sense of abandonment or fear, or they don't want to open up as much. And I see a lot of people in our community like kind of experiencing that. And then when they get older, they feel like, I don't want to really give too much emotions to this person, or I want to get too attached to this person because they might abandon me or whatever the case is. And that might affect your relationship with your significant other and things of that nature. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
So I'm happy you broke it down. No, but it's funny that she says like live in action. Like I said, I had a baby 5 months ago.
Congratulations. Happy for you.
But I also went to school for psychology and human services. So everything that you just said, I used to study like in school. So it's really weird to have to put it like in perspective. And like she says, like everything they see, everything that they hear, like you
can see it.
Yeah, you can see, but you can feel it. And like to be the mom, I never really I used to hear a lot of people talk about like, oh, like when your kid is like on your chest, like at a certain point you're like your hearts are gonna sink. And I remember like the first time I experienced that, I was like, oh, this is like a real thing, you know? So like if I'm crying or something, like to not be so close or something. Like I feel like you know, the other day I was like crying at a little moment or whatever. But I was holding a baby, and I felt like he went from like cheesing to like, you know, he was like looking at me like, you know, but I was holding him. So I'm like, oh, girl, you gotta stop crying. I like, you know, put him down, did a little stretch. wiped my face, and I came back, and after I was like, we got to play on a play mat or something, just to change the energy. But in terms of like how you pointed out the anxious aspect of it, that's why a lot of kids are in school have issues like bonding with other kids or bonding with teachers or anybody, because when they feel like someone cares about them, like for real, they don't even know what it feels like. Yeah. So they feel like, oh, like, is it fake? Can I trust you? Because it's like it's confused. Yeah, like you're confused because it's like, oh, you love on me one time and now you're yelling at me, or like, no, put that down. So even when we get, because sometimes the kids be bugging. Okay. I work with kids.
Especially them COVID babies.
Okay.
My baby's a COVID baby, so I can say that.
I work with kids. Right.
I can say that. They be bugging.
Especially. Like, I work with kids and I have a kid, and in my brain, I feel like this is the first time in my life where I'm like, yo, I need to think about my career because somebody's going to get beat up. Like, I remember being pregnant and I was teaching pre-K. And I was pregnant and I was just like, all of the kids were so anxious in that class. Like, I'm talking about little girls running back and forth, like pulling on teachers, like they can't sit still, or they like, because they get away with it at home. They feel like I can do this for attention. Right. So when I don't have your attention, I'm tantrum, throw myself like, girl, don't throw nothing at me. I got to do my job a little bit. But I just feel like that stands out to me every time. Even when I was studying it prior to me having a kid, I'm just like, I never felt being anxious because how she brought up before, the 2-parent household. Like, I had a 2-parent. Like, my parents were together for 23 years. And it may not always have been functional, but I can say that I've had that experience. You know what I'm saying? And I will always be grateful for that. I love my mom. I love my dad. And they may not, like, be together now, but they're still everybody's very active. It's functional. And maybe dysfunctional. But it's cohesive is the word. It's enough for me not to feel the aspect of, I feel like I'm avoided, or I don't have anybody to speak to.
Yeah. If it worked, then it worked.
Well, when you said anxious, personally, I just really thought about like my parenthood and how I grew up, and how, like, I want to say I had the most secure parenthood, even though I did grow up with both of my parents, and everybody would say that I had the most perfect childhood ever because I was spoiled and all of that good stuff. But people don't understand, like, if your parents are not really paying attention to you, it matters. Like, even though, because I was a really good student, so I didn't need attention because they felt like I did everything I need to do. And like, I'm getting straight A's. I'm getting, like, so there's no need for you to really pay. I'm going to do my homework. You don't have to tell me. So it's like they didn't really give me the attention that I wanted. So I went and sought attention because I didn't get it.
My hair orange.
Right? I'm gonna go out here and be the most
years old,
exuberant person in the world. So like, I'm really friendly. Like, I'm just like the most extra person ever because like I didn't get that in my home, and then I'm the youngest. So it's like, I'm the only girl. So it's like, well, I'm not the only girl, but my sister's 19 years older than me. So basically, I'm the only girl, an adult
in the house.
So I didn't have that same, like, I would say, structure that I would like to have had, but I still had a great childhood. And I feel like nowadays, because I work with children and I work in a certain field where I see parents every single day who are not taking care of their children, I think that they need to focus really on that. Like, your kids need you. Like, the kids of this generation, I don't know what's going on. Like, I really just don't. I don't know what this is, like, but you guys got to pay attention. Like,
they're not getting their ass beat. That's what it is.
They're not scared of their parents. That's what it is. They're not scared at all. They don't care about what
they're not scared of their others. That's what it is.
Well, that could be it too, but sometimes it's 2-parent families and they're still not scared.
The fathers, they got
my sons was downstairs. I should have told them niggas do push-ups for y'all.
I seen this video, and the guy, real quick, he explained the difference between there was like a podcast. The kid was like, "Oh, when mommy asks us to do something, she got to ask us like 2 or 3 times. But when daddy asks us, we got to do it the first time." Yeah. And so the guy gave an experiment, and then when the mom did it, it came off more friendly, more of like a suggestion, like, "Oh, okay, get ready," or whatever. And then she got to say like 3 times. When the father, "Yo, get ready right now," like, they do that shit immediately because it comes off more authoritative. Yeah. And just to go with what you said, like, I think a lot of times, the attention from your parents, I think we see that when we don't get that, because I've seen some women say they didn't get that attention from their parents or their fathers, so now they seek it with men, and on the vice versa with men. Some men have that mother figure in their life that maybe might be very much masculine or too aggressive, so they seek out a woman who is more softer or whatever the case is. So we see that type of interaction and how that impacts the dating life or the dating situation or just your outcome in general. Like, you know what I mean? So what's your thoughts on this?
So many different thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I need you to ask the question again. Just for me.
The question is, damn, what if? Oh yeah, how do you think childhood attachments influences the way we form relationships as an adult?
So first thing that pops in my mind is hugging. You know, growing up, not really getting as many hugs. Like, I learned how to hug in college. I went from Flatbush, Brooklyn to Valencia, California, and I met so many people from around the world, so many people from the United States, and learned how to hug. My Russian friend was like, oh my gosh, what's going on with you? Smoking cigarettes, all kind of Marlboro and this cigarette, that cigarette. And the hug made me feel better. And now that I have kids, like, I'm making my business to hug all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that matters. Hugging matters. Like, you can really change someone's day, someone's life.
Even
like
saying I love you, things like I love you.
Yes, I love you. I honestly, you know, I low-key taught my mom how to say I love you. Like, even hugging, like, I felt the resistance from her. You know, as a big woman, I'm like, and then slowly she got it. You know what I'm saying? Slowly we, you know, was able to be like, I love you on the humble, getting off the phone or, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know why that feels weird.
Nah,
You ever like trying to get off the phone with somebody that you actually like really care about, like I love you or whatever, and it doesn't come up as like, okay, later, girl, like I love you. It doesn't come up like that. It's like, all right, bye. All right, later. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
Until somebody like,
why can't you say I love you?
Right.
Like
Answer them, Eli.
Yeah, why can't you?
why?
oh, why?
I don't know what y'all talking about.
But now,
I love
like,
you, bro.
yeah, like that should be okay.
mutual.
We need to
It's
normalize that.
Look, but he can't.
What you
I
mean?
said
It's
it's mutual.
What's
Like, you know
mutual?
what I'm saying? Like the love is mutual. Like,
So tell me.
huh?
So tell me.
Nah, you need
Oh
Come on,
my
man.
gosh. Do we need a
We're
group
talking
hug?
about it right now. Not a group
Nah, I did. I said it, but
No,
yeah.
no, you
You did.
All
I
right,
gotta turn up the
everybody,
volume.
moment of
I said
silence.
it, like,
Come on, Eli.
Let's have a moment of silence.
Yeah,
guys.
Go ahead, E. This your time.
bro,
Shine,
what
Eli.
is
Shine.
wrong?
Lie.
About to break the wall
What is
right
wrong?
here.
What is wrong with y'all, man?
Right
Listen,
here.
our next topic. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We're going to work on that. We'll circle back.
We gonna circle back.
Okay,
Like, what's your
I
thoughts
love you.
on this topic? Damn, man, y'all put me on the spot like this, guys.
We get to come together as a
Look at her turning red.
inhale and exhale. Let's
Yeah, just breathe, man.
Goddamn,
But,
at the end of the show, I got you.
God.
the threats.
You gotta take a whole show to prepare.
Think about to fight the nigga after the cameras go off. I told you topics ain't love on this show.
Like, yeah, like,
I told you it's mutual. Nah, but I think it definitely affects your adulting. Like, I had the same experience with my mother. Like, my mother, like I knew my mother loved me, and she's a very great mother, but she wasn't affectionate, and I didn't even realize that until I got into a relationship, and she was very affectionate, and I'm like, yo, back up a little bit. Like, why you like you owe me all the time and shit? So I was like, when she would tell me how I'm not affectionate. How the fuck I'm not affectionate? Like, you know what I mean? So when I had to look at it, I'm like, damn, I'm really not. Like, you know what I mean? So then I went to go ask my mom, like, yo, why you ain't never like hug me and kiss me all that when we was growing up? She was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So now, and even like saying I love you and stuff. So now I'm like on her and my sister, because my sister's like apple in the tree with, like, so I'm like spreading love around the house. And I took them to the airport the other day, and she's getting out the car. She's like, okay, I love you, son. I'm like,
Yeah.
There you go.
So you learn it.
To teach people how to love you is a thing. Like,
Mhm.
even though they've been in your life for a very long time,
Yeah.
to be able to say, like, I need you to hug me, or I need you to, you know, tell me
Yeah.
that you love me, you know, because closed mouths don't get fed. So the fact that your brother over here is reaching out and
Thank you
really.
for the circle.
Mhm.
Yeah, the circle back.
I love you, bro. No, it's mutual, bro. I love you too, bro.
Thank you.
That was good. That was good.
Nigga whispered it. Like,
Nigga unplugged the mic and then said it.
It's a start. It's a start.
Nigga, every time you say it to him, he gonna have that audio for you.
You'll play on press play. Like, I should do that.
I actually find it common that we I don't know how common it. I know I experienced this. You know, I was neglected as a child where I think I didn't have neither parent around, so I always like looked for love, and it was my flaw because it started to make. And I'm not making an excuse for myself, but I thought it always made me feel like once I like it made me into a player. I would say because I never got love. Then I had love from 1, 2, 3, 4. And it kind of built this negative character in me that I thought was a good person because everybody finally loved me. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of things that you deal with as a child, it kind of cause an effect to how you know, what you give off and back into the earth. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some kids that you felt like you were neglected because you were good, but that could also make you, you know, look for another person, the wrong person. Or you may not be a good person to the right person because you don't give a fuck. You was never watched before or checked. You get what I'm saying? So you don't know how to correct yourself if you was never correct. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different things.
That's the problem.
That's valid, man. Like, well, go ahead.
I was about to say, at the end of the day, like, your parents is supposed to be the one to teach you, but if they were never taught and they never learned that themselves, like, it's just going to keep going, like, generation to generation until somebody break it.
To be a first-generation American means a lot. Like, my parents were immigrants, you know, and them coming over here, their parents coming over there and bringing them, you know, was a big thing. You know, and it was like survival of the fittest to survive Brooklyn in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, even in the 90s. Like, you had to have really, really tough skin.
Thanks.
And even working for other people, the women in my family were caretakers. My grandmother used to be in Long Island making $100 a day, taking care of other people. And it's hard. Like, I see my mom on the refrigerator. I remember seeing my mom with a picture family photo of another family, you know what I'm saying? Different skin, not black or brown, and it affected me. I'm like, why you have taking family pictures with other people's family and we don't have no family picture? Like, it disturbs me to this day.
You know what that remind me of? You ever watch Atlanta? It's a show.
One show. I want them to do a second episode.
They got like 3 seasons.
3 seasons? Is it one?
Well, before we go into that, there's one episode that talks about me and Drew watched that episode, but it was about a Caribbean woman, and you know she was taking care of a white family, and she spent a lot of her time raising their kids, where she was neglecting her own kids. And when she passed away, her kids were at the funeral like, "Yo, I wish my mom would have gave me the same love and care she was giving these white kids that she was, raising or whatever the case." And that is a sacrifice. You know, a lot of caretakers. Or givers or whatever, they end up sacrificing their own family to look after another family. Like, that's not theirs. Like,
you don't have the same energy for them.
Don't have the same energy.
It's mind blowing. You know what I'm saying?
That. Like, home is home. Home is center. Home is first. So,
but that check, off the books money too. Child, listen,
we gotta draw the line. Like, cause you essentially you're supposed to be bringing home the check for the family, to the family. So, if the family is missing out on the essential, but hey, yeah, you got food in the fridge. Oh, you got a nice outfit. You can get yourself to and from. Like, okay, well, damn, my core, the home is gone. Like, mom, the stuff that is supposed to install. I'm a female, right? So let's say that was my situation. I don't have mom to give me those feminine morals, those standards. And I don't know how everybody feel about this, but I don't think you're supposed to get that from no other outsource. Like,
no thanks.
Mom, you're a female. Like, I think that should be your go-to person. That's not the situation for everybody, but
no, it isn't, because I remember the devastation. My mom working all those hours with all those people, her coming in the crib, and all she wanted to do was have a little Heineken, a little split. You feel me? Like, she needed to de-stress. She wanted to de-stress. She needed that time. I can't say how healthy it was. You know what I'm saying, on a consistent basis, but when you put forth all that energy, even me working in a charter school this past year, having to be there at 7:20 in the morning to 4:20 in the evening, I go home, it's dinner time, bath time, and I'm looking at everybody like, what we talking about? Talk to me tomorrow. Like,
exhaustion?
Yeah, so it's, balancing work and motherhood. Like, I wish I could be a stay-at-home mom, you know what I'm saying, like 24/7, but having to work and balance it out, it's rough. You gotta.
Yeah,
I give my mom. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Now I would say I give my mom the props because I only got one, and it's real brand new. A girl is losing it. My mother, no, seriously, I gotta give her props because there's 7 of us.
Goddamn.
Okay, she was bored. I don't know, but anyway,
She definitely wasn't bored.
I love her down, but it's like she did her best to like keep all of us together. Now, I ain't gonna say, say too much, but I love my mom because she's still to this day like 100% for all 7 of us. Like, it don't matter if it's wrong, right, whatever. Like, she'll talk about it later, but sometimes she don't even talk about it. And I see like how tired she is now. And in my brain, it's like, like I got to make sure she could chill out. And I wish all of my other siblings, felt like that. Like, I love all my siblings, but
we got to get
in the same place. No, yeah, we got to. And like, at the end of the day, what I was going to say that's really important, like, back to the first generation stuff. Like our parents are human too, bro. Like, we have to realize they experience things that they don't want us to experience, and it would be dumb for us to experience what they don't want us to experience. And some people take that and run with it and be like, you know what? I don't care what mommy telling me because she did it, so I can't do it. No, dummy. That's why she's telling you not to do it, because she already did it. Like, you don't see, like, she's stressed out. Like, why would she want you to be there? In terms of us choosing a partner, right? In terms of a living situation, in terms of how we speak to people, how we carry ourselves, whatever it is. And it's your job as an individual not to take it. We can't, it's not our parents' fault all the time.
Yeah.
You understand? There's people that get really great things instilled into them, and then they go out and be like, shit. Because all right, for example, the richer community, right? Mm-hmm. Those people got everything that they could ever want, but they don't have people that have attachment. Like, they're not affectionate. Yep. So now it's like, I'm going to go out and I want to experience what the hood experience, because I feel like all the hood people got love. Like, they got all 30 kids living in the same house. Rich people don't experience us sleeping in the same bed together.
Yeah.
Waking up we taking baths together. Like, that's something I will never, thank you. I love all my cousins, my aunties, because those people have money and no family. You know what I mean? So it's just really important to give our parents grace as well. Like,
for sure.
Parents are people, teachers are people.
But parents got to be held accountable. If you had all these kids, you're responsible for all of them.
We're 30 years old. You still responsible?
No, you my child for life.
No, you are. But I'm just saying.
What I'm saying is, though, it's like a lot of these parents, they push your kids off to. Oh my mama gonna watch him. Oh, my uncle gonna watch. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that going on. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about, if you sat there and said, hey, I'm gonna have this child, you are responsible for whatever happens afterwards.
Yeah, and then even now, I get like it takes the village to raise a kid, but don't be just dropping your kids off so you could go out twerking on like every once in a while. I guess
a little twerk session. All as women, we hold stress in our hips. You understand? So you gotta shake it out.
Look at release.
Anything to justify twerking.
You gotta do wine. All right,
twerk is wine. Slow wine.
So slow.
You know, depression.
I ain't never heard that one.
Google it. Where we at?
Yeah, Google that shit.
Y'all niggas like Google so much. Google it.
Yeah. Doctors, they taking that shit out with the BBLs now. There ain't no stress.
No BBLs on this. Yeah, we feel all natural. We always all will be. Okay,
feeling it. Y'all get that pressure out with some stretching. Y'all shaking y'all ass. Depression in your cheeks.
Nah.
You gotta stretch before you go shake it. You know what I'm saying? I'm yoga certified, so yeah, we stretch it. Yes.
You want yoga class? You got space. Again,
doing a downward dog and shit.
Yes.
About to stretch it out.
Come on, we got a mat. We got a mat.
So what you really saying is yoga ain't enough then?
No, yoga's not enough. No, I think to actually bust a sweat and be amongst peers and to drink responsibly. For me, I'm holding a corner. You know what I'm saying? Just listen to some music, real loud, a little bass. You understand when I hit you on your chest? Yeah.